Hey, what's up folks, and welcome back to another 3D Hangout. My name is Noah Ruiz. I am a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is where we combine 3D printing, DIY electronics to make inspirational projects for you folks. Let's jump right into the coupon code. Yes, no. Yeah, so if you want to check out anything in the Adafruit shop, this will get you 10% off everything in the shop except for subscriptions and gift certificates. So use coupon code YESNO to get 10% off whatever you purchase. There's some freebie deals. The more you spend with Adafruit, the more freebie stuff you have. Check out adafruit.com/free for all of the stuff. We have same-day delivery as a shipping option for folks in the New York City area. So check that out as well if you need your stuff like right away. And we have lots of newsletters as well. This one happens once a week. It's the product newsletter. So go adafruit.com/newsletter and you can get subbed to that one. We also have the daily news, adafruitdaily.com, standalone website. You have different categories and we make a lot of different things like biohacking, CircuitPython, 3D printing, of course, and general electronics. Excellent. We are hanging out in the Discord chat room. So check out the Adafruit Discord server. We have a link right up here in the chat room. It says discord.gg/Adafruit. We're hanging out right now. And we are in the live broadcast channel hanging out. Yeah, excellent. And you can say hello there. It's a 24/7 chat. You can share your projects or get project help. You can see all the different channels that we have here. Excellent. They're all categorized nicely. Help with CircuitPython, Arduino, 3D printing, all of that. Help wanted. Go to jobs.adafruit.com. Check it out if you are looking for some maker gigs or if you are a maker company looking for maker peoples. You can create your profile. It's free to do so. Jobs.adafruit.com. Very nice. Jumping back over to CircuitPython. Check out circuitpython.org. New boards are being added all the time. Stuff from Adafruit and stuff from the community as well. We have a CircuitPython meeting that happens every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It is recorded live in the Discord server, so check it out if you want to sit in and chat. I normally like to lurk, but folks can participate as well. It's really nice. All right, I think that's all for the housekeeping stuff. We're going to jump right into this week's project. So check out learn.adafruit.com. There's lots of awesome guides that went up this week. I really like the shark one from Dano and
so
Isaac.
Cool.
That's super cool. Also the e-paper magazine from Dan. That one's really neat. And MQTT as well. We're going to look at the TensorFlow Lite from Microcontrollers. So check this out. So Lamar, I think she released this yesterday. This is awesome. Definitely watch this video where Lamar talks about TensorFlow Lite running on Adafruit hardware. This is amazing. She's running it on her PyGamer. She has this little external mic so that you can detect whether you say yes or no, and then it'll tell you if it thought it was yes or no, which is really cool. So I'm going to run that demo right now. We wanted to make a 3D printed case that would house that microphone in a really nice, slick way. So this is what we came up with. All right, so this is it. It's very similar to our snap fit case that we did that had these little loops for conferences and stuff. On the back here, you'll see that is the microphone. This little guy here is the little print-in-place hinge. And there's a little tab here, so the idea is that you can flip this out. You can flip out your mic, and there you go. There you go. You have your little mic. So let's turn it on. Get the on-off switch here. So that's a GIF that's playing, and it's also playing some audio, which is really nice. So it's got some instructions on the screen. It tells you what to do. So if you hold down the A button and you say yes or no, and see what the machine has learned. Again, this is running TensorFlow Lite on the M4. All right, so let's try this out. Yes. Yes. No. No. Yes, yes, yes. That's pretty good. I mean, you could trick it and what, but just to show that tonality, you can have different tone when you say yes or no, yes or no.
My favorite is when you're about to say no and do the yes.
Oh yeah, try that one out.
Yes.
Very smart. You've learned quite well, little machine. Good.
Let me try that again.
You want to try it again? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Hey.
She figured it out. Excellent. So definitely check out. I was able to get all the assets and code running on this in like 5 minutes, which is mind-blowing. So check it out. Lamar wrote up all of her notes and things on how to do so in her Learn Guide. We even put together a kit. So it comes with the PyBadge, the microphone, little JST connector, and a battery. I also thought we'd have an extra speaker, so I added that there, but this is all here. If you already have your PyBadge, you can buy the parts separately, but all you really need is this microphone, the battery, and the little JST connector if you want to do so. So she walks you through the software setup. It's a quick start guide, so if you don't even want to install Arduino, you can just get the assets and get it running. Very, very cool, and she walks you through here. Very, very nice.
I also want to mention why this is such a big deal in terms of the way that Siri works on your iPhone, and it's constantly listening to, Hey Siri. Hopefully that doesn't trigger anything.
Oh,
yep, it
totally
did.
That's good, Siri. It's okay. Never mind, Siri.
So this is running on, what is it, 30K?
It's 13K is the model for the yes and no, which is crazy. It's like that's kind of you really need it to be small if you're running it on a microcontroller. So that's awesome.
With no internet connection, so this is all happening on the device.
This is all happening on the device because the model, which is 13 kilobytes, is already on here on the flash, which is great. So let's talk about the 3D printed case there. But definitely check out the video and Lamar's guide for all the details on machine learning. I'm going to talk about the 3D printed case.
Andy Calloway is asking, what happens when you use a similar word like press or a show? Let's try it. Press for yes.
Press. I think that might crash it because it's not really, we haven't written anything to handle an error or something like that, so it probably just won't work. So if you say maybe, it's just like going to show a black screen. So I can show that to you if you want. Here, let me reset it. So I have the reset button on the back here. Right there, so it's easy access. Man, that speaker is super loud, which is nice. So I got the speaker cut out there that I stole from Pedro. Very nice. Let's try maybe. I think it'll crash it. Let's see. Maybe? Or not. It just won't do anything. Yes. Okay, so it just, like, whatever. So yeah, you can have the microphone in the back here, and it tends to pick it up pretty well. I had some stuff playing in the background, like a YouTube video, and I was able to decipher yes and no, which is freaking mind-blowing. So
you had that, you had movies playing, you had a dog barking, you had a kid running around, and it's still able to decipher.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so the case itself is all snap-fitted, so you can take it apart. I have this one here that doesn't have the hardware in it. So you got these little snaps here on the side, all right there. So this really keeps it secured. No screws necessary, and no support material required as well. So how do you get these pieces here, like the bezel and this awesome door hinge? These are separate little pieces that are super glued to the top and bottom covers. So this is the little doored hinge for the microphone. It prints in place. So there is a little hinge here that prints in place. So there's no support material required when you're 3D printing it. And there you go. It just opens like that. So you can play around with the tolerances either in your slice settings or in the CAD file, which we have available to download. And to open it easier, we have this like little tab here. And if you just press on that, that'll click it open like that. So you might remember that from just about any latch mechanism. Kind of works that way. You might remember this from our little Mac Mini project that we did a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This was a door where we would pop it open from the inside, and it would open like that. This one doesn't open all the way because of the way it's kind of oriented. So the way this one works is because it's printed in this orientation flat, you're able to go all the way out like that, which is cool. All the way out like that. So definitely try printing that out on your machine. It's a good little tolerance test there.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, snap fits. My favorite way to open these guys is to kind of press down on it and to click it like that. and it just opens. You'll see that the top cover has these kind of little chevron shapes. That's what grasps onto these little triangular nubs here on the edges of the case there. There are some built-in standoffs that elevate the PCB. They line up with it. You'll want to put your little extra reset button right there, and they just close like that. There you go. Let's go ahead and take this apart just to show you how it is. So go like this, and there she is. On this one, I added these little nubs here that would go through the mounting holes. You don't really need them, so I don't include them. So there it is. It comes out like that. And then this guy here just pops out. It's just a friction fit. So nothing's really glued other than the actual bezel and this guy here. And we got a really good recommendation for super glue. We love using this stuff from Starbond. It's the EM50 medium instant adhesive. It's really nice. I got a link for you guys in the description. But this stuff is great because it comes with these extra tips that are super fine. So when you pop this open, this is a little plug here, but when you take it out, you can just apply it very, very finely on the edges here. And that's really critical when you're doing something this thin like the bezel. So the bezel, you just line it up, stick it on there. Got a little bit of haze there, but you definitely don't want to use too much, and you want to blow some air on there to get rid of that haze. So that's our little tip for gluing. I have all that listed in our Learn Guide that we're working on right now for the assembly of this. So here is our naked PyBadge. It still works. And what's cool about it is that you just disconnect it right here if you want. That's a little JST guy that I wired to it. Now you could use this guy here. However, if you do use that, I definitely suggest using some hot glue to be strain relief, because as you open and close it, it'll definitely break the wire. So we definitely recommend putting some hot glue on the joints here to give it that strain relief. I am using the silicone ribbon cable because it's already bundled together. You peel it like string cheese, and it's very, very flexible. And this is my favorite stuff because it's less likely to break when you put a lot of stress on it, a lot of flex. But still, the kit does come with this, and you can use that. But we suggest keeping it in the closed position just to kind of reduce any stress on it. So I'll go ahead and assemble it. Oh, there goes my switch. Reset. So the first thing you want to do is put this little reset button. It's just a little thing that gets printed. It fits in there. Then I'll put this on top. Actually, let's open the hinge first, like that. I'm going to bring this in. Put it like that. I just snap those little pegs into the mounting holes. And now I can fit our little guy up here. You want to press it firmly on all the edges to click it in place. Now to install the mic itself, I'm just going to press it through the little hole there. And it's held there. And you can adjust if you want. And then just make sure your wire isn't being pinched when you close it. Just like that. There you go. Let's see if it still turns on, hopefully. Yes. Woohoo. And no. Huh, it even canceled out the and part, which is pretty neat. So check out the case if you want. If you have your PyBadge and your mic is flopping around, you can print this out and have a nice little secured setup for your machine learning adventures. Very nice. Also, does it stand up? Oh, it stands up. Yay, that's awesome. Very cool. So that is the project. We are releasing the files a little bit later today, or perhaps tomorrow. It's in moderation, but I can actually walk through it and kind of preview it if you guys like.
Yes, Kirby's saying that it's still in moderation. I don't think of us yet. Yep, later today.
Yeah.
I think we're waiting on Mike B to do final pass.
Mike B's good. We're waiting on others. It's good. It's okay. So yeah, this guide will just walk you through the assembly, like I said, the glues and stuff. So let's walk through the 3D printing part. This is what the kit looks like. Those are the parts. You can print them in whatever color. No supports needed, of course, and we have some slice settings if you folks want to try those out. Attaching the bezel is, you definitely want to pick up this super glue because it's got that fine tip. I'll paste it here for you guys in the chat there. also in the Discord chat. Check out that super glue. There you go, there you go. Okay, back to the guide. We'll just kind of walk you step by step on attaching the bezel to the cover and attaching that bottom hinge to the bottom cover there with the super glue and just letting it dry. So that's what it looks like. And then for the assembly, I think I walk you through wiring the JST connector here that comes with the kit. That's what it looks like. Just press it in there. One thing you do want to do to set up your PyBadge is on the back of the PyBadge, there's an option to switch the voltage logic. Right now, I think it's default to 5 volts. So what you can do is you can cut that trace in between VCC and 5 volt, and then add a little bit of solder to the 3.3 volt pad and the VCC. That way, it'll start running on 3.3 logic, which is what makes the microphone happy. It won't flip out, right? If you click on the image, well, once it's in preview mode, once it's released, you can click on that image and get a bigger size of it, because you do want to make sure you're cutting that trace. It doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. I know mine isn't the prettiest, but there you go. That's probably the only kind of hacky thing that you have to do, but not really hacky. That's just what you got to do if you want to run 3.3 volt logic on your PyBadge. You can totally do so. It's right there. The PyBadge also has this as well, which is great to be able to switch between them. So there you go. That is my little picture there. You can see I have something there, a little glob of mounting tack residue, and then back there where I put the battery. Connect the battery, connect the speaker if you like. It's pretty loud. And then install. As you saw, I kind of showed you step by step how to install it just now. And then you put it over, you snap it. Snap fits. Excellent. So that is how quick and easy it is to set it up. Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. I had a lot of fun working on this. It's always fun to create these type of print and place hinges. Those are super cool. So this is a good use of it, I think. Check it out. If you guys have any cool suggestions and ideas for this hinge, let me know. I think we can do more with it. But for now, this is what I got. It's a little, depending on your tolerances, it could be a little floppy or not. I think what would be cool is to add some little splines here. It's more like a gear. That way it would go and have steps. But I wasn't able to get that one out. But for now, this works pretty well. Okay, you can have it closed like that if you want.
Super awesome.
Yeah,
yes, definitely stay tuned for the launch of Thingiverse and the guide. It should be out later this evening.
Yay, fingers crossed. Sweet, so that is going to be this week's project. And if you want to pick up any of the stuff, yes, no, make sure you use that coupon code. We'll have another one later tonight as well.
I think we can actually post the Fusion 360 file right now if you guys want to test those out.
I mean, I could go and just publish the thing. Just know that the Learn Guide link isn't going to work. But the Learn Guide link for actually running the software on a PyBadge is out. So let me go ahead and publish that. We get to see live publishing of Thingiverse. Here we go, publish thing. Hopefully Thingiverse doesn't go down. We'll see. Still waiting. That's funny, like the demo worked, but the Thingiverse didn't. It's still loading. Huh. All right, well, we'll come back to that. Not a problem.
That's why I was saying post the Fusion link, but it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, it's chugging. All right. Well, that's fine. I'll throw it up on our GitHub repo later as well.
Yeah. Oh, Kirby says it's there.
Oh.
Yay.
All right. Well, it's stuck loading. Excellent.
That's just us.
Yeah, it's just our end because we're streaming. Sweet. Well, that's what we got working on. Really, we just wanted to make a nice case so that the microphone isn't flopping out. So that's really what we wanted to do. We think the PyBadge is probably the right way to do it. We could do it for the PyGamer, but the PyBadge, we got the kit, so we might as well make it for the PyBadge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you could modify the design, easily add that on there.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. I just turned it off to save some battery, but it runs pretty good. Yeah. I'd like to do it layer by layer on how to. I think I'm getting a good workflow for sketching this out and drawing it so that folks can incorporate these into their designs. So I'm going to try to do that. II.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that is this week's project. Be on the lookout for the Learn Guide. Hopefully it'll get published either today or tomorrow.
Yep. Don't forget, this week's coupon code is yes/no.
Yes,
Saves you
no.
10% off on everything except certificates, subscriptions, and Code Academy.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead and jump into this week's What Are We Prototyping?
Yay. All right. This is what we are prototyping. Get ready. The big one.
So from last week, we showed off the Master Sword. This week, we have all the electronics in there. We have the paint job all done. We even have this nice little detail on the handle part here. So Lamar has been wanting this for, I think, over a year now. Finally got this guy printed, and she even added some code for doing the sound effects using the accelerometer on the prop maker wing with the Feather M4 Express.
Yeah.
So she has it going when you do the little swing, get the little, I think you can see it in there.
Yep.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. Has a little blaster thing going on like that. You also have a clash effect. So when you're like battling, you get that.
Right. So it's
Like
all written in
swinging.
CircuitPython, so it's really easy to add your sound effects and to modify the code because the library and the code live on the device. That's
right.
huge, right? For cosplayers, I think that's huge because if you're on a computer that isn't your own, how are you going to download Arduino and download your libraries? You don't have to because it's all running on the board. You can play around with the thresholds. If it's too sensitive, it's not sensitive enough, just open the code file on any text app and just modify it.
Yeah, if you even have an Android phone, you're able to hook up to the USB, which
That's
is
correct.
right in here.
Yeah, it's nicely
No
nested
USB
in there,
there.
so you have access to the USB port for recharging the battery. In the handle is the battery. It's a 2200 milliamp cylindrical battery, which is a great size for a handle.
Yeah, for all handles.
Yeah, and the slide switch is hidden right there. You can see it's
Yeah.
a little on and off switch. Why don't we look over at the detail under the under this one?
See,
So you
right
can
there.
see here.
Kind of
some really nice diffusion going on there. It's printed in. So all of the pieces were printed in translucent PLA, just
Yeah.
regular PLA.
And then we're just painting all the details on there. So we're just using blue. The next one that I do, I actually made a mistake on painting this part. That's not supposed to be painted, but
That looks
I'll
good.
get it right in the next one. But there's the animation that's going on for
Right.
the hits and the blasting. Still got to work on the sound effects
Yes.
because we just have like default ones from Breath of the Wild in
Yeah,
there.
yep.
So we'll find
We'll
better
make them
ones.
louder as well because they're a little quiet right now.
Yeah, we have the little oval speaker. That is, you're able to hear it out of here.
Yeah, so
Kinda
you,
hear
so
that.
you have 3 sound effects. You have an idle sound effect. That's what's just going to be looping in the background, which is great. You don't want to silence, so you can have like a music happening, or in this case, it's just birds chirping in the forest because when Link actually pulls the sword out, that is the ambient sound that's happening.
You kind of hear it.
You kind of hear it, and it's just looping that, and it's just I think it's like a 1 or 2 second wave file. And it's easy to change it out. It lives on the drive. When you plug it into a computer, you can change the WAV file, rename it, do whatever you want with it. The second one is the swing. So when you swing it, it'll have a sound. And when you crash or hit really hard, it makes that swing sound. So you have up to those 3 different sound effects. You can add more if you want, but the code that Lamar has written works with those 3. You can change the color easily as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a different prop with the same effect, you just change the color and the sound effects, and you have a completely different cosplay prop.
As far as the LED goes, we're using the mini skinny LEDs since they are able to fit in such a thin, I want to say thin blade in here. The other size ones are just a little bit too thick in the width dimension to be able to fit in here. I'd have to make it a little bit more thicker. So definitely use those. We're using the 60 per meter.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like in the
using 2
middle
of these.
range. Yeah, there's a more high density version, like a 120. It's going to cost you a little bit more, so we wanted to keep the cost a little bit low. So
Yeah.
we got this strip here. Yeah, it's 83 or 84
It's
neopixels.
about 83, I want to say.
Yeah.
Neopixels, so you'll need 2 strips for that. What else? Other points. As far as the model goes, this was designed by Garrett.
from Chaos Core Tech. Shout out to Garrett from Chaos Core Tech. You can subscribe to him on YouTube. We got a link for him as well. And it's on Thingiverse as a free download. Garrett has also released his Fusion 360 files, so you can go in there and modify it as much as you want, which is great.
Yeah, so his original design has this not hollowed out, so somebody remixed it.
Right.
So this is actually like 3 remixes deep. I went in, did my own remix as well. I made the blade a little bit shorter. It is supposed to be, I think, one more section high or taller.
Yes.
I thought it was too big.
Too big.
I'm actually going to modify it one more time so that my son can swing this around with having such a big blade. So I'm going to cut it down to maybe around that big.
My little baby Link.
Yeah, so I'll have one more redesign of that. What else was modified in here? Just a couple of the meshes. There was like some errors when you try to slice it, so I went and fixed all of that. And what else? It's all glued together, so
Yeah, that's right.
hot glue and super glue, the Starbond that we showed off earlier, does a really good job of holding all these, so I didn't have to painstakingly make all those standoffs and have like
correct,
20
yeah.
screws to hold everything together
Right.
like the
Screws
Breath
are
of the
great,
Wild.
but for something like this where you don't want any screws, you don't want any spots that
Mm-hmm.
are going to be a problem, this is all just straight up like that, so very nice.
Yeah, and you're able to disassemble this too if
Yeah.
you need, because of the hot glue. It's pretty
Correct.
easy to just pry
Pry it open,
apart.
yeah. But you don't need to, because you have access to the micro USB port. You also have access to the reset button. So if you want to update the firmware on CircuitPython, you could just go in there and double tap the reset on the bottom there, which we did, and it worked about fine.
So we'll do a completely detailed walkthrough step by step. There's other stuff that we're not talking about and
Yeah.
leaving out in terms of building this really sweet sword. I really like how fast this was able to come together.
Yeah.
Again, thanks so much. Shout
Yeah,
outs to
super
Garrett
big thanks
for
to Garrett.
Releasing this, and the remixers who modified this to have the electronics fit inside of there.
This is open source.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of open source.
Yeah, this is one of the things I wanted to try
Remix.
instead of modeling it all from scratch. I wanted to see if somebody already had made one and
Garrett
tried
just
to be
knocked it
on
out
the
of the park.
other side of the other side of the coin in terms of taking a design and modifying it so it'll work with our electronics. And this, it's working out. This open
Yeah.
source thing, yeah, people sharing designs, yeah,
Yeah, it's working out.
Happy that there are others who are fully
Contributing, yeah.
to having props.
Yeah. All the code is open source. All the libraries are open source. All the hardware is open source. So if you'd like to spin your own prop maker, Featherwing, you can do so. You can download the Eagle file, and it has all the components and footprints right there.
Yeah.
So if you want to make your own spin on it and make it thinner, make it whatever size you want, you can do so.
Kirby in the YouTube chat is asking, is this painted? Yeah, it's just acrylic paint. I wanted to use the airbrush, but it's like 130 degrees in the garage. I didn't want to have to go in there for that. So it's just regular acrylic paint. It's about 3 coats of that for each color. Again, I wasn't supposed to paint this part, so that will be fixed in the other model that I'm filming for the documentation for the learning guide to be released next week. So,
That's paracord, by the way.
yeah, so this is just paracord.
That's not
Go
paint,
over
that's
the-
paracord. We went to Hobby Lobby.
Oh, if that's what you were asking, yeah, this is actual paracord. There you go.
Looks great. I like it. And you a little dab of super glue to keep it in held, and you just tie it off.
Yeah.
That works well.
So that's actually one of the things that's holding the
Oh, I see
handle
what you're saying,
together.
yeah.
So there's no super
Cool.
glue or hot glue on this. It's just being held together with the rope, which is pretty cool.
And honestly, there's not really much finishing. Like, you didn't spend days sanding.
The only
You
sanding that I did
sand
was
the
for the
joints, right? The
edges, yeah.
surfaces, you want to sand those out to have nice smooth edges when you're gluing and adhering them. But other than that, that's it. What would you say? We don't like to finish things? Like,
Oh
that's
yeah, in
it,
terms of
that's finished.
sanding and yeah, for
Right.
getting all that smooth detail. I just wanted the main goal for us was to make sure that the
Yeah.
electronics fit in there, the sound effects are good, the code's all good.
Yeah. We're sure folks in the community will just do a fantastic job. We've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
some really nice makes where they just go all out. It looks like a real metal. There's lots of resources out there from the cosplay community on how to do that, techniques and all that for painting and sanding and finishing.
What was the thought I had?
Sorry.
Somebody's asking. Oh yeah, Thomas Veach is asking. Is it dual extruded? No.
No, it's just
It's
paint.
just
It's all
paint.
printed in. Let's look at the parts.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the half of it right here. Just printed in this translucent filament. I think you reduced the infill a little bit to
So it's about
10%.
10%, just so it's not so heavy. So that's another thing too. Again, we'll talk about this in depth
now.
next week.
Yeah, here's the little blade here, so you can see how it. That's it. This is great filament too. You haven't sanded these yet, right? So
No,
you can
no
see that
sanding
this
yet.
is where you would want to sand it so that it has a nice flat edge to adhere to the next part.
Yes.
Also, you want to use a nice brim, right? I think you use a pretty big.
Yes, I
brim to
use
keep-
brims to make sure that all the parts are flat so they attach nicely together.
Yeah. And it's PLA. You could experiment with like other things, but we like PLA here. We're not going to keep it in the sun, so don't put it in direct sunlight for too long or you'll melt it. But there you go. Those are the pieces here. Cool. No screws, right? It's just all
screws for that.
Attached with adhesives, which makes it really nice. Nice and seamless.
Go over my notes. I think
sure.
that's all the stuff we want to talk about.
Yeah, if you want to pick up the prop maker wing, perhaps it's in stock.
Yeah, I definitely go pick up the one with the headers attached. It'll make it a lot more easier to solder the headers onto the feather wing, the M4 Express.
Yeah, they are in stock.
Since it is a little tricky, since you do have to make it very compact. We're not using any female headers for this. So it's just going directly into the M4. You are going to have to do some tricks with soldering the battery onto the JST connector, or the battery connector for that.
Right.
Since the battery connector sticks out the side, we had to add some wires on there, and we'll go over that next week.
Yeah, so if you have a project that you want lights and sounds, accelerometer, amplifier, prop maker wing.
It's got it all in there.
Got it in stock right now. You can get it with the headers or without the headers.
Again, I recommend with the headers. It'll make soldering these a lot more easier.
Cool. You could also use the coupon code to get 10% off your order there. Where's our coupon code? Yeah, I thought I had a shortcut for it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to make those.
Very cool.
It's going over the chat. Chat there. Don't forget, coupon code yes, no, 10% off. Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight.
Excellent.
There's also little tricks in the Discord if you're in there.
Yeah.
Definitely log in there. Scroll a little bit up to see how you can potentially get other discount codes.
Oh.
There's other ways to get them too.
Okay.
One of the ways is when you are a new subscriber to the newsletters. I think they give one away in there.
Sweet. Okay. Cool. We're going to run into the next segment, Community Makes. This week we got a time-lapse video that we release on Tuesdays. We do it every Tuesday. This one is a Stag beetle.
Yeah, so if you walk into any store, you can see that Halloween is already underway. If you look at our recent YouTube videos as well, you can see the new Halloween M4 is already being worked on. We already got the LED mask being worked on. So Halloween stuff is already in full swing. So of course, when this was uploaded, I thought it would be an awesome addition to the Halloween theme. It's a really cool giant sting beetle. It's used by Educator in Japan to show off what the insect actually looks like. And as he notes in his Thingiverse description, he's actually never seen one. So for his students, he wanted to print one out.
This is the scale, huh?
This is a pretty much
Big
to
bug.
scale. Yeah, it's a really cool big
They
bug.
call it a giant stag beetle for a reason.
Yeah, so you can see in the time lapse there, it is printed in 2 different pieces, and holy moly, there is so much support material. But I was super surprised that all of these tiny little antennae were able to print without ripping off. Okay, so thin. Excellent detail on the bottom of the little underbelly there.
There you go.
Now you can pretty easily tell that it's glued. It's 2 hats glued together. Giant mandibles here, and you can kind of get a cool little shine on there. I did print in other colors. We were testing out these really cool rainbow filaments. Everybody's been having fun with.
It's like a silky filament, I believe.
Yeah, so it comes out like that. You just glue those 2 halves together. You can see the gold filament on there. It looks so cool,
shining.
And then again, here is the mess that comes out of the printer. Don't worry, if you have your settings set up correctly and you have patience in removing all the support material, it just looks like a blob.
Yeah.
And then look at all that string too. But with a little bit of patience, it does clean up. You get a nice giant bug. Some of the suggestions in the video were like to add like a little vibrating motor on there to sort of move around for Halloween.
There you go. That's the brush bots.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What also might be cool is making a mold out of this, so you can make chocolate sting
bugs.
beetles. Very cool.
Sweet.
Super awesome little bug for educational purposes. You can see here in the Thingiverse link, he actually did some very nice finishing work on that.
Yes.
Some nice sanding and probably painting, whatnot. It looks excellent. I really like the way that processing turned out. He's actually updated or uploaded a couple other bugs, so if you need any other educational resources for these type of animals and insects and things like that, definitely give that a try. Yep, it's all PLA. And this is the Silk Gold from, what is the name of this company? This one is from Exquisite Rainbow.
Nice.
It was about $16 too on Amazon.
Wow. Cool.
Yanni's saying that it needs some soft robotics in it so the limbs would move. That would be awesome.
Cool. So check it out. Huge shout out to Thingiverse user dendeba.
Yes.
Who uploaded this.
So cool.
Excellent. Sweet. All right, well, we got some other community makes from fine folks who build some projects and share them on the Thingiverses. So walk through them. Just 2 this week. This is a Raspberry Pi build dubbed the Mini Raspberry Pi handheld notebook. So this is a project Pedro put together a couple of, I think maybe years ago, but it incorporates some hinges, a little bit of hardware, and the snap-fitted little mini keyboard that I believe we stocked. That might be a different one, actually. Yeah, I think they put a different one.
I was going to say
their own one, so it's a remix.
Bottom. Yeah, the bottom is a little bit more taller. So
yeah,
it looks like he actually moved where everything is. So I have the Raspberry Pi going right behind the screen. It looks like he moved it to where the keyboard is.
It might be a she, not sure.
Oh,
Loki gesture. They increased the size of the base part so I could fit the battery under the keyboard. Thank you for the upload. Oh,
very
my pleasure.
Cool.
Very nice. So we got that on there as well. If you guys want to print your own. Yeah, so it's a little bit thicker there. Pretty cool. Built-in screen and everything. You can almost make out the revving cable there. Cool. And it's always nice to put it on top of a chess set.
Yeah, this is why we release everything for free. So you can modify the design to your heart's content.
Yeah, make it work with your hardware. Also, the last one we got for this week. There we go. Ooh, took a minute. This is a remix for the heat set insert press. So this person here, Sky Baby, has their own heat set inserts. They have different diameters, so they went ahead and updated it because the CAD's available and it's a user parameter in Fusion, so it's fairly simple to go in there and update. Just change one value and all the model changes that uses that parameter for the heat set inserts. The person here printed it on the Prusa MK3S with no supports because we designed for no supports. So if you want to make your own little heat set insert rig, you can do so by checking out our Learn Guide. And so all the parts that used heat set inserts are updated to work with this diameter 3.75 millimeters for the inserts that he got from China. Cool. Yeah, all the inserts have different diameters, so it was kind of challenging. So I had to make it so that the design was easy to modify. I think it did all right. Yeah,
that's one of the hardest part of sampling things that go into the store. There's always different variations of everything. Even when you restock something, it might change manufacturing on whatever tolerance on the thing. So
it's good to incorporate user parameters into your design where possible. Cool.
The words right out of my mouth.
Yep. Yeah. This week's community makes. So thank you folks for sharing your stuff. Yeah, excellent.
Oh, got a sneeze. Going on mute, and it's gone.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that's going to do it for the show. We wanted to do a quick one today, and we're going to do some more shows later tonight at 7:30 is Show and Tell. So if you'd like to share your projects, all participants get a free As Seen on Show and Tell sticker. It's a Viner sticker, and it's very nice, so check it out. We'd love to see you. Last week was a little low, but it was great to see Chris and Bill Binko.
Excellent show. Definitely tune in for that. There's always a lot of detail in terms of building projects, so you get to talk about all those on Show and Tell, the community.
Right. This is how we got our jobs. We went on there.
That's a good thing to remind people. If you have really cool projects, definitely keep showing up. Phil Lamar might want you to write a guide. Yeah. And we do have budgets for
the lead engineer on the CircuitPython, he came on the Show and Tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott.
Definitely
Excellent.
Stay tuned for Asking an Engineer right after the show and tell, 8 p.m. every Wednesday. Was it this week they have another guest?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's always a surprise.
Yeah, so
There you
definitely
go.
tune in. You can take a look at all the news going around in the Maker community. Of course, there's going to be a lot of talk of the recent news that's been going around on all the
Okay.
Maker little
Make stuff.
sphere. Yeah,
Maker
lots of
stuff.
Make
Make
news,
biosphere.
Make community news.
Sweet.
Lots of investment going on in the world of Maker, so definitely check that out.
Yep.
Definitely
And-
want to hear PT's point of view on that.
Yeah, and then tomorrow it's the return of John Park's workshop. He's back and
Yay.
well rested. Had some awesome time in Iceland. I believe it was Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very, very
definitely
cool.
Tune in for all your Make Code minutes, Make Code Arcade, how to build video games, awesome playlist from scratch if you want to build an awesome video game.
Excellent. All right. Well, this is 3D Hangouts. We do the show every Wednesday. We should do it on Thursday. And we do it at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Sweet. Don't forget the coupon code is yes now. That's it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you later tonight on that show and tell. Until then, remember to yes now. No,
Remember
remember
to
to
make a great day.
Bye, folks.
See you next week. Tonight.
Yeah.